In a realm where shadows dance with light, through the whispering woods at night, secrets echo through the air, meta mysteries everywhere. Voices drift on winds untamed, words like spells that can't be named. Close your eyes and feel the sound, journey where no bounds are found. Open doors inside your mind, leave the ordinary far behind. Colors swirl and stars align, in the meta mysteries you'll find.
Welcome to Meta Mysteries, where you don't know what you don't know. My name's Jonathan.
I'm Sean.
And today we have a very special guest, somebody who has firsthand knowledge about what may exist on the other side. This is going to be a very fun conversation. Welcome to the show, Bella.
Hey guys, thank you for having me.
Of course.
This is one of our favorite, I know that you're going to be talking about a couple topics, but the NDEs are some of our favorite things to talk about because it's like the closest thing you can get, you know, as far as knowing what's on the other side, what's after this, or what we experienced before this, you know, and so I'm excited.
All right, me too. I've never told a lot of people these stories, but I mean, my family does know, so it's awesome that I get to tell it to you guys, and I finally have, you know, people that can relay on it, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'd love to hear a little bit about it. And so how does this start? Like, let's go through the first time, because I know that you had said before the show, it's happened many of times. So what does that even mean? Are you just putting yourself in danger every chance you get, or what?
Sometimes I do feel like I'm at the wrong place at the wrong time, but, well, I was born at in a nun hospital, so nuns delivered me. So I feel like I've been protected my whole life in a lot of ways. It's called the Holy Cross Hospital in Nogales. It's a very, very small town, border town in Arizona. So I've always felt like I was protected in a way. So, you know, but there's been about 3 experiences, maybe 4, where I literally saw myself outside of my body while everything was happening, but I could still feel my body in shock and not being able to move. And then I just snapped into survival mode, and it's crazy because the first time it happened, I was about 4 or 5 years old.
Did it feel like a defense mechanism kind of thing?
Well, the first time when I was a little girl, I think I had a heart attack or something, because I didn't wake up until the next morning from screaming with so much fear. And my sister too, she was holding me. We were so scared. So we can talk about it and remember and like reassure ourselves we didn't not experience the same thing.
Oh, wow. All right. So is it kind of like a nightmare kind of situation? You woke up and like terrified, or was there something that really spooked you?
So, because I was very young, it was my first friend in school. We had just moved here to Texas. We moved to Houston first. And I went to a school where, you know, there was a lot of bilingual because I had to learn English. Well, I had this little blonde cheerleader friend, and I just like became very, very good friends with her. And one day she invited me to her birthday party, and my parents were like, you can't go without your sister, and it's a sleepover. Like, I was never allowed to sleep over anywhere, like anywhere ever. But because she was just going to be her mom and a couple of girls, like 3 or 4, she was like, if your older sister, who's 4 years older than me, goes with you, it's fine. So we did. And it was only me and my sister that ended up staying the night. The other 2 little girls went home. Her dad was out of town. Now, her dad's girlfriend who was taking care of us, she was young, and you could tell she was not a good supervision type of a person. She was out of it. But she said we were going to play a board game. The board game turned out to be a Ouija board.
Oh,
I didn't understand it. My sister had never seen it. We didn't know English. but I do remember what it spelled, and it spelled a man's name, Brian,
Oh
and it was
my
with a Y.
God.
And I just remember the flames of the candles going so high, and she was screaming, and I don't remember what she said, but she threw the Ouija board into the fire, and the fire just like it scared us so bad. She was like, "We're gonna camp in the living room, right?" So we built tents, and I'm in the tent with my sister. We're sleeping next to each other. Her mom, or her stepmom, is with her, right beside us. And all of a sudden, my little Barbie CD player from a long time ago turns on really loud without me even turning it on. And then I turn it off, and all of a sudden, there's a million handprints hitting the tent and shaking the tent that we're in.
Oh.
And like me and my sister just start screaming like we've never experienced anything like this in our life. And that lady's just screaming, leave us alone, get out." And I see the handprints because the tent was a light gray, and I'll never forget. She had like dim lights on because I knew she was scared. That whole Ouija board thing scared her for some reason. I don't know who Brian was. And so me and my sister she was holding me, and I was crying and screaming like in so much terror. And then we saw these orbs. It was me and my sister saw them. That girl Brittany never spoke to me about it, but me and my sister saw it because we'll always talk about it. There was these white orbs, and it's like you can say it's an angel, but there was no face. There was nothing. It was just looked beautiful, and it looked like in a bell shape,
Cool.
And then we just passed out, like passed out completely. And then when we woke up in the morning, that lady was trying to like give us gifts and jewelry and makeup so we wouldn't say anything. And because she got so scared, like she knows what happened.
Oh
And
my God. So she knew that she messed up. And how old were you at this time, you said?
I think I was like 5.
Wow.
Playing a Ouija board in front of a 5-year-old is just
My
nuts.
sister was 8.5 almost.
Oh my
Shit.
God.
And the other thing too is, you said you didn't speak English, and then the name comes up, and it's, and at 5 years old, you're probably not spelling a whole bunch anyways, and so
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Because
Do you
our
know a
hands.
Brian, or is there anything that
Well,
came
I
up
don't
in
know
your
how.
life?
Yes, but they're not. It's nothing bad, and it wasn't me. She was asking the questions, but she was using the purity of children to get. I don't know, because children are so pure and innocent, and I feel like bad things can like attract those faster and easier, more vulnerable.
It probably charged it
But
up too, I would
it
imagine.
probably got mad at her for doing that to us
Oh.
because I've always been protected. Like I've had lights turn on in my bedroom that are like timed. When I'm at poker, I get home at 5 in the morning and they're still on, and I'm like, who came up and turned them on? They're only 30-minute timers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have lights hanging outside that have been on for 3 years, and I've never changed the battery. It's like I don't. But light represents good. I don't know.
Right.
But
yeah, that's what that's what we believe for sure, that, light would have to be good. So if the lights are going out like that, then something's going on there.
So I don't know how long you've been listening to Men of Mysteries, but yeah, we've been through a lot of topics and a lot of understandings, and just trying to figure out what this reality is.
yeah.
Which is, I think, what we should be doing. I mean, it's a journey, I think.
It is, and it was refreshing, like hearing a lot of your podcasts and how much I could relate to it. So I listen to it at poker because like I'm there for hours, so I'll
Right.
listen to my
Oh,
podcast.
geez. Yeah, it always amazes me that anybody would even want to listen. I think that's an ego thing. I think it's an imposter syndrome type of thing, but that makes me happy, though.
Yeah,
To know that
definitely,
people are out
because
there that
I
get
even send
something
it to
from
my friends sometimes, and I'm like, remember, like this is what I talked to you about, like this is what
right.
it is.
Right.
So it's good.
Yeah, we get a little out there, but at the same time, it's like we really don't know jack shit about what there is in this place. There's so much more than we don't even realize, I think. I was talking to Jonathan about dark energy, and that this is like this substance that they can't quite fully measure. They don't really fully understand, but there's a lot more of that than regular matter.
Yeah,
And so I'm thinking, like, if there is a God, you know, like, and whatever, however you want to view that, it's like, well, then that's probably it, because without that, we wouldn't be here, you know? And so
exactly.
I thought that was very fascinating. I was watching, it's a show called, like, How the Universe Works. And
Oh yeah, I saw that.
yeah, so before I got into, like, the spiritual stuff and all the weird things that we talk about, I was very, I'd say, more so logical and scientific, you know, and if science
Hmm.
couldn't prove it, then, you know, I just didn't know what to do with it. And yeah, I've just been so much more opened up, you know, I wasn't religious or nothing like that. And so, yeah, it's very interesting to kind of look into everything, because when you have an experience, especially like one like yours, it's like,
Yeah.
what do you do with that? You know, I mean, there's got to be more than.
And I mean, I was born in a Catholic hospital. I was baptized, did my first communion, and all of that. But I've never
Mhm.
been attached to any religion. And I've been to Khao Chen, the monk here in Houston, who's like very well known.
Mhm.
I've explored like so many different religions because of my friends and being in classes with people from all over the world that didn't know English with you.
Mhm.
And my neighbors were from Egypt, and like I learned to pray with them because if I wanted to go play over there, I had to do it with them just to show respect.
Mhm.
So I've always ventured out, and I've never stuck to one. But I do like Buddhism was probably one of my favorite because of more. It's more, how do I explain it? It has like more positiveness
Mhm.
to
Yeah,
it, in different ways that other religions will look down for different things or think,
exactly.
you know.
Yep.
So
Exactly. I think, and I was going to tell you about this, Jonathan, what I think it is, as far as religion goes and how everyone's got their religion. And when you're in that religion and you fully believe it, it's a full picture, you know, like you
yeah,
got your book, all the answers are in there, right? And so within that frame, everything works. But then you zoom out and there's a bunch of other pictures and it's more of a mosaic, you know, like all together, all the pictures are complete. But then you zoom out and it makes a bigger picture. And
yeah,
that's kind of like how what I think it is.
Yeah, there's
yeah. And I
no.
want to look at it from every perception. Like if I can, I will get a better understanding instead of just being obligated to know and oblige to
That's right.
one.
Yep. That's where we are. So
That's it. Hey, we don't know. We don't know. You know.
that's right. That's right, baby girl.
Okay, so that is a crazy experience. You being so young and going over to your friend's house. The stepmom, of course, it has to be a stepmom that pulls out a Ouija board. You know, it can't just be like a mom. It has to be the step. Nothing against stepmoms out there.
Yeah.
All stepmoms are most stepmoms are awesome. But yeah, that's crazy. So, did you ever go back over to her house?
Never. And she would invite me, but um, I guess they ended up moving in the middle of elementary, and then I never saw her again. And it wasn't even like I think about 10 years ago, I was pulling things out of boxes, like old pictures. And I found one of her cheerleading photos that she gave me at school. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is Brittany. Like, and I can't forget her name. Like, it's just something that's embedded in my brain already. But I don't remember the lady's name. I just remember how she kind of looked like.
Mhm.
And
So,
yeah,
real quick, you said you saw like these two. There was two of them, right? These
it
two
was
orbs,
three.
three
It was
orbs that
three.
came up. So, what? Thinking back on that, or even in the moment when I know you were 5 years old, but what were your thoughts on that? What do you think that was?
I thought they were fairies.
Really?
I did. Because growing up, me and my sister say, remember when we saw the fairies? Remember
Hmm.
when we saw those fairies?
Isn't it crazy how more people don't link that together when seeing orbs? Like,
No.
think of all of the thousands of years of folklore with the Fae folk, and now everybody's seeing orbs everywhere, and nobody is making a connection there. I wonder. I would think that there has to be some kind of connection. Maybe they're not like Tinkerbells rolling, coming out of the bubble, or Glinda the Good Witch or whatever. But I would say that there might be a little bit of correlation there. So you
I would
assumed.
say on that, dude, and not to cut you off, I would say on that, it seems that the fairy idea is it's so embedded into like fiction in movies and things like that. And so when someone says fairy, you automatically think, okay, that's not a real thing. You know,
Yeah,
like at
because
least
if you
I know
see
when
an
we did.
angel, you think an angel. I'm sorry for cutting off. If you
No, you're
see,
okay.
like, you think of an angel, you think of a human looking spirit with wings, right?
Yeah.
But all I saw was wings with an orb. Like, it looked like a bell, but you could see, like, not flapping, but kind of like
Flowing.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like flowing. And you couldn't see faces, you couldn't see body parts. It was just light.
Interesting. That kind of reminds me of what I saw one time, but it was at first I thought it was a satellite, and then it got really bright, and then all of a sudden there was like a tail, and like the light coming off of it was exactly like you said. It was very flowy. It wasn't flapping. It was just kind of like it had its own intelligence, and it was almost doing it so that I would notice. And it was super strange, but it gave you a feeling of like this is really something.
Yeah, it will give us relief and peace because, like I said, I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. I was so scared. I've never been that scared of, that little.
Mm.
So I just thought if I could sleep, if I slept that whole night peacefully without waking up from that trauma, then it had to be something good because I don't know what else could have calmed us down in that moment. I wanted to go home.
So in that so earlier on, whenever you were out in the tent and you saw all the hands that were pressing up against the tent and everything, like, did you think that it was people that was messing with you, or did you?
I knew it couldn't be people because we were the only ones in that house, and we were in the living room, and the door wasn't that far, right? And because she was saying, leave them alone, leave us alone, and she was grabbing us, there couldn't be that many hands on that tent in any way possible. I didn't hear anyone come into that front door.
Oh my God.
And as a little girl, me and my sister know, like, and the tent, the way it was shaking, they weren't trying to get in the tent. We didn't hear voices.
You know what's not fair about this is that this absolutely exists within the spiritual world, and it is being, used with a spiritual tool, albeit not a spiritual tool that most people would recommend with the Ouija board. But it's unfortunate because it's like this spiritual tool, or this this medium that you're using is a spiritual thing, and so therefore they're instantly playing with demons, they're instantly playing with negative entities. But the thing is that they exist, like negative entities, demons, whatever you want to call them, daemons, whatever. They're definitely something to it with all the people that have documented them over time. Now, what are they? I don't know. Are they Satan's minions? I don't necessarily believe that. There's something to it, but I mean, and this is something that Lord Byron talks about, and we had El the Alchemist and J.S. Garrett on the show, and they were talking about how they work with demons, and and who's to say that this lady, this stepmother, wasn't trying to summon something like that? There's so many unknowns because you were so young, but I don't even know what to say, to be honest, about that. Like, I want to sit here
chills every time I talk about that.
Like, I want to sit here and say that everything is all love and everything is all light, but like, we don't live in a fairy tale. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that we live in probably some kind of simulation or matrix, and maybe those are just like, I don't know, entities that want to get back into the simulation, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah. And what makes it more weird is I think all of my siblings have gone through at least 1 year death experience. So we've seen my brother get struck by lightning on a mountain. My sister flipped and rolled with my uncle in a Corvette, and the window was open. She landed perfectly in a ball, not injured, because the window, when it flipped on her side, the things. But I think I've been through the most, but I feel like I am the most kind in my family, the most wholehearted, because I go through that role, going through so many of these experiences, that if you're just a good person, good things will always follow,
Yeah, you'd like to think that the energy you put out is the energy that you get back. And I think for the most part, that's probably, true. But, you also got to watch who you're around and stuff like that, too. Because I'll tell you right now, like, I've never witnessed a demon or anything like that. Not that I'm aware of. But I've definitely hung around people where you feel that whatever that is, like it's like attached to them or it's controlling them.
Well,
or
shortly after that happened, at that house, one day, very weird occurrences were happening in the house because she lived in the same neighborhood as I. And my mom would always say there's no such thing as ghosts and all this stuff. And the radio would turn on in the garage, but it wasn't plugged in, and it would change the station. And my little brother would like say he would see the top man hat guy in our room because we had bunk beds. So one day I did wake up. I felt something was staring at me. Like, I think at this point I was 6. I just felt like scared, and I looked like towards my closet. So I looked over my shoulder to the right, and I see this demon looking thing. And I'm not gonna lie, it was just like it had its fist down. It was just smiling and like, and it had glowing red eyes, right? And again, one of those angel things popped up.
Whoa.
And that was the last time I ever saw them. And that was the last time anything ever bothered me in any demonic or spiritual way.
She said one of those angel things.
I don't know what it was. Like an angel, a fairy. I don't know why I would think it was a very well. Actually, I don't know. It was an orb, and it was just a calming relief to see because I knew that everything was going to be okay. And then I just put the blanket over my face and I fell back asleep like nothing.
You know what? I think that a lot of this stuff is and I'm not the one that cracked the code on this by any means, but I think that a lot of it derives from fear. So like where you were with the Ouija board and then other instances, maybe was it, could it possibly have been fear manifest? Because if you really think about it, you start looking into like, I'm not trying to get all conspiratorial here, but I have a conspiracy podcast and, the elites, and they're always going after the children, trying to scare the shit out of them for the adrenochrome. We're not going to go there today, but I think that there is something to fear. It almost needs a medium of fear in order to manifest itself.
Like to feed. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that old quote, like the only thing to fear is fear itself. And and then there was this acronym that my brother used to always say for some reason when we were growing up.
You can't be fearless unless you go through fear.
Right. Well, he would always say that fear was an acronym, and it's false evidence appearing real.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I don't know, dude.
I mean, and after you having those experiences, like as of right now, like things are going good, and you haven't really experienced anything demonic or anything dark. No. And so maybe because you've had those experiences and that if something like that were to happen, then you would have that fairy or that angel or that whatever that thing is.
Well, the thing is, like, I see after I've done quantum jumping and DMT, I have seen weird shadows that are huge, and they don't scare me because I can walk past them, but then they're flat. And I don't feel scared because I feel like I've been through so many near-death experiences and fear in my life that I don't feel like anything else can scare me.
And maybe that's why you don't really have any issues with that, because nothing can mess with you. You are protected because you do treat people well and you're a good person. And I'm very careful who I let into my home because, and I have a kid too. So right. And I would think that a dark force would want to prey on a weak person, a person that's scared and really feed off of that fear. And a person that has bad intentions, because that's what they have too. Right.
Right. And well, it's interesting that you bring up the DMT thing, because that was the scariest thing I've ever gone through in my entire life. And every so often I'll get little flashes like the other, and it's so weird. I think what scares me the most about it, it's not like there's figures or I'm being put in a scary, like, regular type of situation. Like I'm not being hunted by a lion. I'm not, you know, in a line of fire. I'm not in the pits of hell or anything like that. What fucks with my mind the most is that, like I'll get little flashbacks of the DMT trip that I did, you know, last year. And it's not even just the emptiness. It's like, it's this weird thing where I'll see a color and it's like it's almost like I don't even know, like a tannish, almost like my skin color, to be honest with you. But it's like it's like a block, and it's like my skin color, like tannish, whitish, almost peachy, almost. And for some reason, it just gives off fear. Like that's all it is. It's like just this fucking fear block. And I'm like, wow. What do you do with something like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why? First of all, why is it, you know, scaring me or whatever? But that's the thing about the DMT realm, really, is that you'll start to see little fractals that, you know, you're not familiar with. You don't really know what it is you're seeing, and sometimes it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it is some of the most majestic shit you'll ever see.
But I've never experienced fear in a DMT trip. I think the only time I did was when I saw the world end, and I was gasping for air. It smelled so bad.
Oh, we might have to get into that eventually in this episode.
And there was like hazmat suits asking where I came from and how the fuck I was alive. And I was just screaming for my dad and my son. Like every time I'm on a DMT trip, I always call for them. And I was in a time machine once. Like I'm telling you, this shit is insane. I don't even. I'm sorry. Oh, so like the gray men, like. I was okay. So my second near-death experience, I was in a mountain in Arizona called Mount Lemon. We always go there. It's like a family tradition, and I was 15 at this time, and I was with my little brother. His name is Pete. He's 2 years younger than me, and my little cousin Steven, who's 4 years younger than me. And we hiked to the top of the mountain already. So we were just, you know, walking around the boulders, and we see some barbed wires ripped through, like completely ripped through. So we're like, there's a soccer ball. Let's go get it. Let's play soccer. And, you know, so I was like, y'all stay up here. I'll go get it. So I'm climbing down the boulders. They're at the top and they're throwing rocks to see who could throw the furthest. Mm-hmm. Well, I get down there and I hear like moving, like something moving behind me. And I hear whimpering, like crying or something, like a baby bear, but it wasn't even a baby really because it was huge. But I could tell by the crying, and I think they hit it or something. And then I turn around and I just see it standing up, and it's just letting out these screams, and I'm frozen. I'm telling you, this is where I came out of my body, and I'm watching from the sky. And I'm just standing there with a soccer ball in my hand, like tucked under my arm. And I could just, everything's in slow motion. And I can hear like everything around me, but I can't hear closely the bear or anything. I could hear my breathing and the birds and the wind. And all of a sudden I just go like back into my body, and I drop the ball, and my adrenaline kicks, and I start sprinting towards the, what do you call them? I'm sorry. The big stones, the rocks. So mountains? I start climbing them, the boulders. I start climbing. I'm like, okay, bears, I don't know if they can, you know, I'm 15. I can't, I'm not even thinking. And I got on all fours and I'm climbing them, and I'm kicking all the dirt, the leaves, the stones into its face so it can't come up and get me in time. But I just know I didn't stop. And I ran so fast that when I got to my family, I just ate shit on the ground. Mm-hmm. And my brother and the cousin had seen what happened, and they ran. They were so scared they didn't know what to do. They ran back to the camp to tell my parents, but my parents didn't believe it.
They thought that you were making it up.
They thought the boys were making it up.
Oh,
and when I came back, I was pale. I threw up.
Wow.
Like, and my dad was like, "Did you get a video?" And my brother was like, "No, Dad, we're dead serious." And then I guess like the people, the scouts or whatever they were, they came by and they're like, yeah, there was a bear attack last month. And it was the mom bear or the dad bear, I don't know, but it scratched some lady's face off, like tore her up. And then we crossed that fence and I feel like that's when I mean, I don't know how everything paused and I was just watching, like, and my brother was like, Bella, you wouldn't move. We couldn't even scream. They were in shock. They said they couldn't scream.
You're like, I was outside of my body. That's
Yeah,
interesting,
I was like,
though.
I
Like
was
when your
over the
spirit gets
trees.
scared.
I was over the trees. I could see everything and hear everything from the top, but I could still hear the body breathing.
So it was like almost like a sleep paralysis kind of thing at that point, right? Not obviously not sleep.
I've never had sleep paralysis in my life.
Oh, it's awesome. You should check it out.
It's awesome, and it's
I've
also
seen my
not
I've
awesome.
walked in on my sister having one, and I didn't know what, like, she was scaring me. I didn't know what was going on. And the sister that was with me tonight, she would get sleep paralysis a lot. I never did. Never.
Yeah, they're a little scary, but if you can become aware that like you can do cool shit whenever you're in sleep paralysis, like jump out of your body and astral project,
Yeah.
then it gets pretty cool.
See, that's different. Like, yeah. So that was that. And then I got taken away by a river, the Colorado River. It was ice cold. And I couldn't get out. And a willow tree saved my life. I had to climb a willow tree, like climb it up, because there was cattle drinking water. There was some people's land. And I didn't want to go through the ghost town because we went through me and my cousins, we hiked from our camp through a ghost town over a bridge to climb to jump off into the river and do the swings and all that. But I tried to take a shortcut and the river took me. I was trying to find a narrow place to just cut through. I was like, I don't want to go through the ghost town. It's boarded up. It looks like people could be staring at us. It's like House of Wax. And I just remember I was drowning and I was trying to bury my feet to stand up and get, try to get air. And I just remember like a fish slapped my head or something. And then I saw the tree and I just grabbed it and climbed out. And I never swallowed so much water in my life. But yeah, I felt like that at that time I drowned. And if that fish didn't hit me in the head, I wouldn't have reacted in time. That was about, I was 16 at that time. It happened a year after the bear thing.
Makes you wonder how long that branch was waiting for you. You know what I mean?
I didn't even expect that willow tree to resist me. They're so thin.
So please, roots, stay strong.
Did you end up having like another out of body experience with that, or was that just like a close call?
Well, the fish hitting me woke me up.
Oh shit!
I was feel like I was drowning because the current was so fast and it was so cold.
Oh man!
I was in Arizona, but we were at the top. Like we were where the water was still. It was right after I think spring. So yeah.
So it's kind of high waters then.
Cold. High water, super fast. That's why I was trying to find a narrow spot where it would calm down. I would cross it so we could avoid the ghost town. But no. It took me, and it took me for a long time because it took them about an hour to find me, and we were trying to make it back before it was dark because being in the ghost town at night, a mining ghost town,
no, thank you.
It's creepy. You can't even take a rock with you.
Yeah, that sounds super sketchy. So, I mean, you're having all these like wild experiences. Were you raised religious or?
I was Catholic, born in a Catholic hospital by nuns. Got baptized, my first communion. We were in Catholic nun schools. When my dad opened all the Kmarts in the U.S., and so we all moved very frequently. And he opened one in Mexico City, and that's where we went to like Catholic school with nuns. And my sister was the one that would cuss them out and like get expelled, but I was always the good one. And
your dad opened up all the Kmarts across the United States?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Blue Light Special, dude. You missed that.
Yeah, that's my favorite. The Blue Light Special.
There was something special about going to Kmart for some reason. Like, it wasn't a thing you got to do very often. At least for me.
It was the ices and the pizza.
Yeah.
Good times. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
wild. So, all right. So that is some. So, all right. So you're having all these experiences, but you're raised Catholic. Do you feel like what you're experiencing is contradicting at that time what your beliefs are, or is there a system in place already? Do you think that, like, I mean, what is the Catholic understanding of astral projecting?
Now, I'm going to say, my family was very, very religious until my parents did get divorced. I think we just stopped going to church, and I kind of gave up on believing. But even then, I was never attracted to Catholicism. I was never religious like that. I've explored so many religions. My neighbors being from Egypt, when we were little, learning English, I would pray with them to show respect. I would go to the mosque with them. I've Indian people are my friends. I've been Indian weddings. I've been in their culture. Buddhism is my favorite. I've met Kao Chen a lot growing up. My whole family has seen Kao Chen here in Houston. He's a really amazing Buddhist monk. There is no religion to me.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but I feel like everybody, like, you are your own God. You have a piece of God inside of you. And the only one that can help you is yourself.
Fully agree. Yeah, I think that if you're waiting on a savior, you're going to be waiting a long time, and
Exactly.
that's not to take away from anybody's belief system
And
out
if
there
you
or
want
anything
this
like that.
person that you pray to do something and it doesn't happen, then you blame them. But it's like, maybe you need to do something. It's not them.
Yeah,
You are the person that you need to pray to and do these things. And there's other gods that you can relate to and say, I'm the same kind of God, because you are.
Well, it's like asking a god to change something for you that you have
Total
most of the
control.
time you can change yourself. Like it's just about changing the way that you're looking at a situation, or changing the way that you're accepting of certain things. And I know it sounds like woo-woo, maybe sounds crazy, but I do believe like manifestation is absolutely real. Like I don't even, it's not a belief. Like I feel like I'm honestly living it. Like I feel like I'm living the life that I always, tried to manifest. But that didn't just come like out of the sky. You have to work toward it, but it's just about remaining consistent in whatever you're trying to achieve. And so I think that if you're trying to achieve blissfulness or holiness, or just being in a spiritually sound place, that takes consistency. Like you gotta remain meditating and stay looking into whatever it is that sparks your curiosity, that helps you understand the other side a little bit more. But if you just remain stagnant, like, you're not going to be expanding. And so then you're always going to be looking for somebody else to help you, or something like that. And there's nothing wrong with calling on ancestors, or calling on God, or calling on angels,
Exactly.
or something like that. But you can't rely. I'm not going to say they're not reliable. I'm just saying
You
you're
can't
going to
rely
have
or blame.
you're going to have way better luck if you just take shit into your own hands. Personally, that's what I think.
Well, I also would like to say, I guess, people in their religion, when they believe it so wholeheartedly, they know for a fact that whatever is meant for them is going to be. And so maybe that gives those people comfort, knowing that even if they were to do something or not do something, if it's meant for them, it's meant for them. And if that brings people comfort, then that's cool too. I mean, I can see it both ways, because we believe in manifestation, and because we believe in that, we are immersed in that world, and we look for the signs, and we see synchronicities, and we're just immersed in it, But you ask a Christian, or you ask somebody else, and they're going to say, well, I heard Jesus talk to me. And it's like the same thing. It's just you're in your own bubble of understanding your own world. And so I think that's just probably how it's supposed to be. I mean, I don't agree with most religions either, but
I think
different strokes.
And also, I'm just going to throw it out there like this. I mean, could belief be the ultimate placebo? And you know how I feel about placebo. I think that there's way more to a placebo effect than what people realize. Just the sheer fact that somebody can take a drug, and then the next person takes a sugar pill, and they're healed equally. Like that is crazy to me. And so, but I do think that belief plays a large part, plays a large role. Like if you know that you're going to get better. Like I always say it like this, every time I get sick, I know that Aleve is going to make me better. And as soon as I pop those Aleve, within 2 minutes, headache's gone. I'm not sick anymore. It hadn't even had time to kick in yet. You know what I mean? And so there's something to that for sure. I did want to get to your DMT experience. And then we can really just bounce all over the place, to be honest with you. The show has almost no structure. So
okay, cool. Because it's a lot. It's a lot of things that it's been like really, I understand it better now that time's passed. Like it's all made more sense, and I think I understand everything except for the grapes part.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way, and to be honest, I think that's like the people who are doing mushrooms or DMT like on a regular basis. I'm like, bro, I'm still trying to work through what happened 7-8 months ago.
You have to know when to do it, and I always know when to because I will get the taste in my mouth.
So, all right. So you're talking about DMT. You're talking about actually smoking real DMT.
It's real DMT. So my
like the tiny little
from Mexico,
like the little crystals.
The root, yes.
Yes. Okay. So that's the same thing. All right. Let's go.
It locks. Oh my gosh, it's insane. So like the first time I tried it, and it's crazy because this person that presented it to me, he's Buddhist. He's been my friend since high school. We were nerds. Like he's this Asian kid, and he would always be like, "Bella, you have to try this. You're that person that I need to like. You're the next person that I needed to like give it to. Like you need it. Like you're that person." I guess there's just certain people that you can tell the trip to. Like it's a weird mind thing because if someone asks me randomly, like, "Hey, how like you've done DMT? How was it?" and I just know I can't tell them. I get this weird feeling that I just can't. And then there's the people who are like, "Oh, I want to try it," but I know that it's not for them. I my body automatically tells me they're not chosen for that.
You are not ready.
It will definitely fracture. It'll fracture weaker minds. There's no doubt about that.
Let me say, I wasn't ready because I didn't know what I was doing. I had never done acid. I had never done ecstasy, Molly. At the time, I had never done any of that. I had done mushrooms and I hated them because that's a story from that another time. But the first time when him and Josh, they were my best friends, Josh brings it and, I hit the bong and I'm looking at them and I hear time clicking all the time. And I see them, and I don't know why our skin turns orange when I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I can see myself aging at every second that there's a click. And I can see what I look like in time, and I see everything shuffling like a puzzle piece in my house. As time changes, it's Stone Age. It's not. It's super like out of this world, like outer space looking, and then it's grass, and then it's sand, and then time was just clicking around me so fast. And then I looked at them and I see them aging and I see their body changing. And after the trip, I told them, "This is what you're going to look like in a couple of years." Like, I swear, the clicking made sense. You were so young. You had tattoos. You were swole. And then, now he's a jiu-jitsu pro fighter at Grizzly Barra.
With
and
tattoos.
Then Hung, yes, with tattoos and a man bun, like I said. And,
oh, my God.
And then Hung, he has his 18-wheeler company with his family. And now he's not obese. He's lost so much weight. Like I told him, and I'm like, "I saw you in a suit." it was insane, And that was the first time I experienced that. And then the second time I was blind. I was blind in my trip, and I was in a time machine, and the clicking came back. But as the clicking changed, my heart would hurt and would be happy, as like my emotions would change with time. And I would go through phases of emotion. And I would go fast and I could hear the clicking and I'd be happy and I'd feel grief. And I've never felt grief like that. And that was that time. And I didn't like it because I couldn't see anything. But in the end of that DMT trip, I was screaming for my dad.
That's
blah, blah, blah.
that's actually the perfect term. I've been looking for that word, and it's a pretty common word, grief. But that's exactly how I felt at the end of my DMT trip. Like grief, like I had just lost everything. You know,
And
like
when it happened, my cousin got murdered, and I knew what that felt when I had that trip. So it connected with that second trip.
oh my God.
And so I was like, oh my God, no wonder it felt like it happened too fast in the clicking in that trip, because it was coming.
Holy shit.
And I had a cardinal in my window 3 months straight, every day, crashing into my window. And I was like, oh my God, it's gonna go brain dead. Do I open the window? And the thing for cardinals, like, you know, and it was warning me. And sure enough, I found out at the airport. It was the most devastating feeling. And I knew that that's where I felt it before.
Okay, that brings up so many questions. And
I had never felt grief before. No one ever has passed close to me. I've never met my mom's side of the family. I only had 3 cousins, and one of them got murdered. And then that's when I felt grief.
holy. So do you feel, I mean, and you're not just seeing visions of something that's not going to happen.
I
You're
couldn't see anything.
seeing
It was completely dark.
you're seeing time as a whole rather than having to wait for the future or, you know, remember the past. You're seeing it almost in real time. Time is eclipsing right in front of you.
It was, but the fact that it blinded me, it was completely pitch black. It scared me because I didn't know why I was feeling those emotions.
That's actually crazy that you even kept your eyes open, because I was told that you got to keep your eyes shut.
At that point, I closed them.
Okay.
Because when my room was shifting, I was like, okay, I'm going to close my eyes when I get into a time that I want to stop. As my room shifts, there's different times. So I closed my eyes at a time that I thought, perfect, let's do this one. It's modern. It looks like everything's 2035 or something. I don't know, right? So I close my eyes, and then it's dark. And I just hear the time clicking. No more shuffling of the walls. It was just clicking of time. And I could feel the wind. Like, have you ever seen the movie The Time Machine? The old school movie where he builds the time machine to go back? That's exactly what it was.
And he turns the dial, and it's like,
yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was, but the clicking was loud, like a time.
Mm-hmm.
And as the time would click, my emotions would change.
Oh my God!
So you were like experiencing the state of mind that you were in within that time.
And so at the end, I felt another grief, and that's when I shouted for my dad. And I know that's not what I wanted. But at the end, I always screamed for him, and I felt so scared and sad at the end. And that's when I screamed for my dad, and then I woke up, and then my friends rushed in there, and they're like, "Are you okay?"
Oh my God!
Because they give me my space, So
you're experiencing this as if it's happening in real time. I wonder why that happens. Like, what is the mechanism?
I wasn't ready to see. It doesn't want me to see. Good people don't deserve to see those things, but if you feel them, it's like better to be prepared than to see. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's something that I can't stop, because destiny is destiny. You try to change what's meant to happen, and you're gonna mess something else up.
As the new Final Destination is getting ready to come out.
Oh, right.
Did you see that?
Oh my gosh, I saw that trailer.
Yeah.
Don't go to no family cookout soon.
Yeah. Right. I'm staying home. But oh my God, that is just so nuts, dude. And that's the thing about DMT, is that it is so all encompassing like that. You know, like you're seeing things that at the time don't even make any sense. And that's why I was saying about people who blast off all the time, like either I don't even know what to make of people who do DMT every single day. And we've had a couple of them on. We've had Adam Butler and Danny Goler, and these people are psychonauts all the way to the absolute max. I can't imagine, I'm actually good for the next at least few years. Yeah.
I think the first time I tried was 2018. And then when COVID happened, that's when I tried it with one of my poker friends, who he changed his life completely. When I say he was really racist towards me at work when I'd see him at a poker game, and when I'd say he had a KKK member card, He completely changed his life around,
Who
dude.
has that? I didn't even know they
I don't
had
know what
that.
happened, right? Me neither. He
Is
was
it like a Sam's Club
psychomaniac,
membership or what the
like-
fuck?
Right, you
Dude, that's
pay
what
her.
I said. And he called me a beaner and all this crazy stuff. And I was like, this guy. But
Wow.
one time, like years and years later, everybody saw that he went through life changing, like, because he completely changed and now he's another person. But I had tried some of the DMT that he had, and that's when I automatically just appeared, like, you turn on the TV and it just flickers on. I just appeared in this rotted world, and everything is just gunk, and it stinks, and it smells like death, because my dog got so scared on that trip that I was on, and he was like, I didn't know if you were going to throw up or pee or something. He was like, you were gagging, and you were like, because I felt so much sadness, and I smelled death, and I don't know what death smells like. I really never smelled it. So I know that's what it was, because there's people walking towards me in hazmat suits, and they were like freaking out about why I'm there, why I'm alive, and I'm in normal clothes. I was in my clothes. I could see it. And I was just like, where's my papa? Where's my papa? Where's Julian? And they were like, ma'am, how did you get here? How are you alive? And when I say everything in the world was dead, the sky, it was orange. It wasn't what it is now. It was weird. But everything was just gunk. And
Did it seem like a nuke had gone off, or what do you think about that?
if that's what you think it would be, if it was all mush, of course, yes. There was no buildings. Everything was,
Demolished.
there was no demolished. There's no green. There's nothing. I was stepping in waste.
Death.
So
Yes,
do you?
Because there was no color. It was all gunk and
Do you believe that what you were looking at could possibly be a parallel reality, or do you think that that is a sign of possible things to come in this reality?
I just don't know why it was that during COVID that I had to see that, because I never saw that again.
You know what's really strange too is that so just like how you were saying, like you smelled like dead flesh.
Yeah, it was
and-
like this. They were bringing me paper towels. They thought I was going to throw up. My dog was crying and whimpering.
Oh.
And he's a big husky German Shepherd.
And that's what's nuts about it, is that you had never smelled that smell before, and then you experience it in this trip.
Have you seen Sin City?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly that yellow man. That's what it was like him. That how she explained his smell in that movie is exactly the color that everything was, and how it might have smelled when she described it. Because I love that movie, and
It's very fascinating, though, that you immediately recognize that smell as the smell of death. I've had a dream where I've smelled death. Like there was a car accident and I could smell the death. Like I didn't see a dead body. I didn't see anybody dead, but I just could smell that smell of somebody's not here anymore.
yeah.
So strange.
So this is the Sin City yellow bastard.
Yeah, there was like a scene where it was all mush. They were in that wasteland, and they were talking about how it smelled and how he smells, because that girl was like, I could smell when he's around, because that's when death comes, and that's exactly how I would describe that.
So, and what I was going to say is that you had never smelled it before, but you were able to know that you were smelling it after never experiencing it physically
Because
in this physical
something
reality.
that smelled so bad, I can only.
Dude, and I think about this all the time. Like, so whenever I was younger, and I've always been like attracted to the intuitive and the witchy kind of stuff. I grew up, my mom was always into that kind of shit and listening to psychics and all that kind of stuff. So I grew up kind of with a more open mind in that sense. And I didn't look at everything as good or evil. I just looked at it for what it was. And so there was this time, dude, I had a dream when I was like 10 years old. I might have been 8, 9, 10. I don't even remember exactly how old I was, but it was around that age. and I had this dream that that this is gonna be a little graphic, but I had a dream that I had sex, right? And I didn't even know what sex was. I didn't even know what went where at that age, right? But I had this dream, and I remember it was so real. Like, it made me like, I was like, oh shit, if that's really what it's like, I can't wait until I'm older. You know, it was like kind of one of those things.
Though? Did you see yourself?
It was me. I was the one, you know, having sex. It's like a dream, like, but it felt so damn real.
Isn't
it was like
right when you hit puberty.
it was actually probably, but it felt so real that it didn't even seem like a dream. And then I remember the moment that I lost my virginity. I was 17. I was a late bloomer, but the moment that I lost my, I mean, it's a late bloomer for the
Okay,
kids.
I was too. It's okay. I was too.
And I remember, like, whenever I lost my virginity, I was like, oh my God, my dream was right. It's exactly how I remembered it from my dream. It was like the craziest shit ever. And so that's what makes me like think about it. All right, so is this like a reincarnation memory? Is it continuous time memory that, you know, that there's all these multiple realities that are stacked up on top of each other, and then in some of those realities I'm a little bit older, and somehow that translates?
When you did have sex for the first time, did you ever think about that moment that you had, that dream?
I literally thought about it
in your dream.
Yeah, I literally thought about it as I went in for the first time. Like, that was I wasn't thinking of anything else, because I remember, like, dude, I shit you not, I waited for that moment for 7 or 8 years. Like, it was something, and every
awesome dream.
And every little boy probably, you know, coming into puberty is always thinking 13.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh, yeah, I don't even want to go into the mind like that, because if it's anything like my mind was, but yeah, and it is strange, dude. And so I know that, you know, that's a little bit weird or whatever, but how is it possible? You know, where did that come from? Because that's not a physical memory that I had in this life. And how was it so spot on?
My dreams, if I do remember them, I'm always correct. And I always dream that I'm pregnant, and I know it's someone around me, and I'm always right, and I bust them. But
yeah.
I've had dreams where I've been able to wake up and be like, what the heck happened? And go back to sleep, and I'm back in the same freaking dream. And there's been this dream that I've had of these smiling weird people with one big eye. Like, it just blows up, and they smile so creepy, and they follow me everywhere. And I wake up in a different world. Like, everything is filled with vines, and there's no cars working, and everybody has to be quiet in the streets because these bad things will come. And then they'll come and chase you, and then it's like a video game. Like, they'll have Santa hats on, and that's how I know who the bad guys are. It's fucking insane. And these doors in my dreams, there's no doors that exist, and I could tell you how they latch, because I've never in my life seen a door latches like that. And then and I call them flats, and I kept talking flats, and I've never said that word in my life. And I saved a child, and I would come back to that same dream, and I would run. It's like those never-ending rooms, those back rooms in this building, and I would be running from these things and killing them, and they would, like, it was insane. But those are the only dreams that I have. Yes, and I don't know what it is, but
dude, I feel the same way.
It happened only twice, but I go back 4 times in the same night, because I keep waking up like, and I don't wake up scared out of breath. I wake up out of breath from running in the freaking dream. Because I don't feel fear. I just feel tired. I'm like,
it's exhausting.
Dude, in those repetitive kind of dreams like that, I probably have like 4 or 5 of those. Like, that I will always go back into one or the other. Like, if it's a recurring dream like that.
Yeah.
Dude, do you think that is another reality, or do you think that came before, or that's coming in the future? Like, what do you think what is really going on in a recurring dream? Because it seems to be the same characters. It seems to be the same, like, plot, you know, like maybe you're in, like, I always go back to like this mansion party, and I'm like a teenager, you know,
sometimes it'll go to my mom's house now, and I'll be having to save my family from these things, and they'll come with guns. Like, and, like, I've jumped in a pool with my son to protect him from them shooting into the pool, my parents' pool. Like, I don't know, but I don't, like, and when I stand up to them and I face them and I see the way they smile and one of their eyes just get bigger, like googly eye, like, it's like this weird, creepy thing. Like, it's telling me, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think everyone's the same in a human form here. Because why would I see things like that? Like, I could see monsters and stuff, but I don't know. I've never had dreams like that. I don't know. I don't have dreams like other people do, and I barely dream. And I guess that, has a lot to do when you smoke weed. But.
Yeah. That's actually something that I experienced too, because I recently.
But even then, I still had those dreams.
Occasionally.
And I have, if my bookshelf's right here, I have about 5 to 6 dream dictionaries, English and Spanish. And I look up everything that I can to get a better understanding of why I'm dreaming certain things. And then the other day in poker, I looked at my poker player when I walked in. I'm like, I had a dream that you're pregnant again. And he's like, how the fuck did you know? I was like, I don't know. Something told me when I walked in that your wife is pregnant. And it scared him. This is last Tuesday. But
that's pretty interesting that, because your dream sounds very unique. Like, I've never heard anybody explain a dream like that before, like specifically.
Yeah, it happens in that building and in that city or town, whatever it is. I can't tell. It's been covered in grass and the cars are rotted.
And the doors are like
the
no
doors
door
are
you've
heavy
seen.
metal. No, there's latches that flip a certain way to close it, and then you have to relatch it the other way and then snap it up. Dude, and I don't know how I would know how to lock something right now if I'd never seen it in time now.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you're there, there's no doubt you know exactly what to do because you've been there before.
And I'm ambidextrous, so the doorknob was on the other side. It wasn't my left, it was my right.
Super weird.
I don't know what's going on with that, because here you are having a dream about somebody being pregnant, and then come to find out they are in fact pregnant. So you're having dreams.
But most of the times it's me that's pregnant. But when I see the person that really is pregnant because they're close to me, I know it's them automatically. Because I'm like, I know it can't be me. It's impossible. Birth control, please. Right. I know it's one of you. And I've busted my sister-in-law twice.
Damn.
And I busted my oldest sister once, and then my best friend McKenna this past summer. And I delivered 2 babies this past year, which I don't know why a doctor would let me hold on to this woman's legs and help her get a baby out when I never in my life had done that this past year, and it's been 2 times now. And I was like chosen to see a baby be brought into this world. Like, it was chilling. So I feel like, I don't know, these weird things happen to me, and I don't know why.
I imagine you probably have a hard time dating normal people.
I do.
Yeah.
I know I'm pretty normal, but you can't talk about these things. It'll make you seem crazy to other people that have never heard of it.
Doesn't it suck, though, that you can't talk about like this just openly to everybody? You know, like, because you look at other people, you're like, you're a person, surely you dream. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe some people just close it off. Maybe they just think that it's whatever. It's nothing. This is just my mind kind of thing. But for you to be able to experience what you've experienced, call out people being pregnant. I mean, you knew like during the DMT trip that, that somebody was going to die relatively soon.
Yeah.
And so and I actually had this thought last night, which, by the way, I went on a cruise a couple of weeks ago with my family, and whenever I went out there, obviously you can't smoke or anything. I'm used to smoking weed every night before I go to bed. It's like a nightly ritual. And but I know that some people bring it out there, but I'm like, fuck that. I'm not trying to get past like German Shepherd dogs like sniffing through my shit.
I just bring my pen. I just bring my vape.
I don't even want to risk it. So I went out there, and it was like a 5-day cruise, and then I couldn't smoke the whole time while I was out there. But whenever I was out there, oh my God, like I'm talking about like literally, I could tell you 8 hours worth of a dream or worth of dreams, like, cause it's multiple, but 8 hours worth of dreams in the morning. And whereas normally if I smoke right before I go to bed, I can usually remember maybe one of them. I can usually remember a dream, but last night I right before I went to sleep, I smoked a little bit, and I had this wild thought that that basically, like, I'm trying to figure out like why is it that we dream, and then I like kind of reversed my thinking a little bit, and I was like, oh, so we don't sleep, and basically we don't sleep, and dreaming is like a a happenstance from the dreaming or from the sleeping rather. It's more so I had this thought that we sleep so that we can dream. You know, like the dream is the main reason why we go to sleep in the first place. And I know that we, you know, our bodies need rest. I'm talking, you know, that's the physical part, but I'm talking about on the mental, on the spiritual part. The reason why we need it is because it's like trying to show us something. It's trying to remind us of something.
It's like our brain sleeps, but our souls don't, and they leave.
Yep. I mean, it's a third of our existence. You know what I mean? We sleep a third of our life away. And so why wouldn't it be more significant than, oh, it's just a movie that my brain was playing, you know, just so that I can experience something. I don't know. It's definitely more than that. Definitely.
Yeah.
When I dream, I'm like, okay, let's try to connect the dots. But it's harder for me to interpret my dreams than my DMT trips, for sure.
So you had mentioned also about your, what was it? Not astral traveling.
No, when I did my DMT trip, the quantum jumping.
Quantum
but the
jumping,
last
yes.
DMT trip, I was floating in space. I was like, we don't need spacesuits. And I could hear my thoughts, and I could hear myself talking. So I was like talking to my conscious, and my conscious was talking to me, but it was like weird. And I was like floating around, and all of a sudden I'm in a room and there's light. It's all gray, but I can't see how far it goes. And where I am, there's a light, and there's like very modernized sofa. It's just literally like, looks like a bench of gray, you know, very modern, futuristic looking. And I'm just looking around, and all of a sudden this gray man appears. Now he was in a suit. He was all gray, but he didn't have eyes, and he didn't have a mouth that had a tongue or teeth. It was kind of like dipped in, but we weren't talking. We were telepathically speaking. But the thing that hurts me the most is I can't remember what we talked about. And I don't think they want me to, or he wants me to. I don't know, but I know it was very important because I asked one or two questions.
Doesn't that suck though, whenever you can't remember the questions or the answers? I had that same experience with, what I believe was Elohim. And it just sucks because you wish that you could just take that and pull it over and keep it with you. And maybe it still is there on a subconscious level.
Talking to, like, what if it wasn't an alien? What if it was just something like, I don't know. Like, I want to know what it was that they had to tell me, because why did I go there? This is way by far the most different DMT trip that I had.
I don't know.
So
how was the you don't remember what was said?
The emotions were very very still. I remember that I would have remembered how my emotions felt, because when I wake up I feel it. And I felt calm, but when I woke up I was really confused. I was so confused, because at the time that I woke up I couldn't remember what we talked about. But I could remember me talking to myself in space, floating, and getting like looking at other random things, objects floating in space. I saw my dog.
Have you tried to meditate on these things?
I do. That's when I started doing the quantum jumping, the hypnosis, and the sleeping meditation for
Sleeping meditation.
Yes. So you go into, it's kind of like quantum jumping in your sleep, because you're already in the most relaxed state. Yeah. So when you dream, it connects to the same, I guess, meditation or hypnosis that you're doing, and it's hours long. So when you fall asleep, you're in the most deepest state, and that's where you can astral project the easiest, I feel. But a lot of the times I can't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I'm still not there yet. I just started doing this, I think, the quantum jumping 2 years ago.
See, I feel like once I fall asleep, it's like out of my hands. Like I don't feel like I can carry an intention into sleep and then go, okay, now I'm going to quantum jump.
If it's the last thing on your mind, it's a bigger possibility.
Right.
You can't.
There's been times
it's better
where
to fall asleep in the middle of it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So I put it on before I fall asleep, and I just start to meditate until I'm so relaxed. Then I fall asleep in it, because it's hours long that you can listen to.
I wonder if this is like a common thing, but between you guys. But every night that I go to sleep, I know that I'm dreaming before I actually fall asleep. Do you ever feel like that?
I've had
I haven't
experiences
felt
with
like that
that.
in a long time. That's when I was delirious after poker, and I would try to stay awake, and I would start to dream, but it's like daydreaming half asleep, right?
Yeah, but you don't really like. I don't feel like I have control of it. And what's really strange is that
Then you're astral projecting. You're in between of being so tired and fully like ready to just relax. That I feel like that's times that you can astral project
that might be
because
what's
you're
going on. And because I know that I'm not asleep yet, because I'll be getting like real frustrated that I'm like still consciously aware, but I'm seeing another reality, another
Yeah.
world. There's something else that I'm like a part of, and I'm aware that it's not just my thoughts, because my
It's like
thoughts aren't
happening, right?
it's happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, I literally earlier today I tried to take a nap because I have my son. I've had my son for the past couple of days now, and you know, whenever he wakes up real early, and I'm not used to that. I like sleeping in till like 9:30, 10 o'clock at least, and
Sleep half the day away.
I know, because I stay up late. I usually stay up till like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm a night owl all the way. But so I tried to take a nap earlier, and whenever I put him down for a nap, he's only 2, so he's still taking naps. And I tried to put him down for a nap. I came into my room, tried to lay down, go to sleep, and the entire time for like 45 minutes to an hour, I was somewhere else in this realm, not falling asleep. I was almost there, but I was
Wait,
aware.
how long were you experiencing this? At least to your understanding?
Like 45 minutes to an hour.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's different from what I've experienced. Usually
yeah,
it's
mine
like
is
a
like
matter
2
of
seconds. Yeah,
Right.
and then you feel
Yeah.
like something just happened, and you're like, wait, did that just happen? And
Yeah,
you're
but
like,
you were
oh my
still
shit.
very consciously
Yeah.
aware that you weren't asleep yet.
Oh, yeah, I'm
you're just
aware of
kinda
my
peered
body.
into something
Oh,
that
dude.
was
I'll be seeing all of that, and I'm also aware that my dogs are making themselves comfortable on the bed the entire time.
right.
Like-
Holy shit, that's I don't
That's-
experience that at all.
I
And
can
this is
only
the thing that I'm trying to describe is it's not like, oh, I almost fell off of a cliff, or you know how your body will sometimes give you that twitch to like wake up. It's not that at all, because I know what that is.
Yeah.
This is, you're just all of a sudden seeing something happening, and sometimes you don't, for me anyway, I don't hear anything, and then I'll get a sound, and then I'll like open my eyes and go, but see, I don't open my eyes like I'm waking up. I open my eyes like, what was that? Like I wasn't asleep yet. I know I wasn't asleep. And so it honestly feels like I'm peering into something that is happening somewhere. And I don't know.
That's crazy.
So
It's
you-
pretty cool though when it happens.
So you would call that's quantum jumping to you then?
if you're in
Or a
a
version
dream
of it?
state like that, like dreaming, I wouldn't say, because you're sleepy. So when you're quantum jumping, I just do it when I'm awake. You could do it in the morning, you could do it at night,
Okay.
but you do have to focus because it's like a meditation. So if I do the hypnosis at night, the hypnosis is easier because it's hypnotizing me to do it and go into that quantum leap in my sleep. But the meditation, you have to visualize the things that they tell you, and depending on what it is that you want, and the things in your life that you want to better, and just the positive things. And then as days go by, everything around me changes. And
So
I think I've done
I'm
it my
sorry,
whole life
not
because
to cut you off, but you're just sitting there meditating, and you're keeping in your mind things that you would like to see happen.
yeah, like kind of manifesting it.
Okay. Okay.
And bringing a vision to it, because if you can't see it, you don't believe it, right?
Right.
If you're not exposed to it, it's not real.
And so now that you've done the quantum jumping, and you've done the meditation, and you visualize the things you'd like to see, I'm wondering if now you're subconsciously looking for these things and you're seeing more opportunities, and that's why it seems different, or what's your take on that?
Well, a lot of the things that I imagined and wanted happened. And
They
I
just
did
happened.
go through downs, losing people and, relationships, but it was for the better of what I needed and what I wanted.
Mhm.
And because I'm not a greedy person, it's not something that's like, oh, I want $1 million. It's like, I want my dream house. I want, this for my family. I want this for my son. And it happens. Or, sometimes you just I really was like, all right, I need to, get my ranch here soon. So I need to work more games. And at that time, it was World Series of Poker. It was slow, and then now I'm working 3 games, unstoppable, and it's amazing. And before I didn't even see it. Like when I was little, and people would say, "What do you see yourself doing when you're older? What do you see yourself doing in college?" I never could see my future. I could never see what I could be.
Same.
I could never say, "Oh, I'm going to be a doctor," and envision that. I couldn't, because I knew that there was just no way. I could never see myself driving, and then it happened. And then, so it's so weird that a lot of people are like, what made you want to study law? And I'm like, well, I was supposed to do criminal, but with all these experience that I've got, I couldn't help bad people. I couldn't have that on me. So then I started doing personal injury, and then all of a sudden, Corona Boxing with HBO pay-per-view Showtime calls me, and they want me to be a Corona ring girl on national TV when I'm 21 years old. 2015. I started doing that. I was in Maxim of 2014. I was in Neutrogena commercials. I've got to do a lot of amazing things in my life that I never thought I would do. I was a chubby, short girl that didn't know English,
Were these all things that you
I felt
had
like my
envisioned?
near-death experiences were quantum jumps for me. Kind of like when you're supposed to die, but then you pick up in another timeline.
Oh, and so everything's just a little
Because
bit different.
how else I can't come to sense why I even started studying quantum physics, why I bought books about it, why I got into quantum mechanics, period, and quantum jumping. Like, what in my mind made me want to do that or think about what that is? It's mind-boggling to me. And numerology, the numbers that you see every day, I see it twice a day. 111 never fails. And
Show her the license plate, Sean.
Gematria. I started studying that, and I got really deep into these things. And my son was like watching Young Sheldon, and then I started watching, and everything just started to make sense. And I don't know how else to explain how I got to this point, but I feel like the near-death experiences were quantum jumps, or what they call it when you die in a timeline that they knew.
So have you seen that show on Netflix called The OA?
Yes.
That's basically quantum jumping.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
That is so nuts.
The movements are meditations. So it's like there's different forms of meditation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah.
I've had little experiences like that where I'll feel like I've never seen that building before. Like this happened just today. But then again, I haven't traveled that street in a while. So then I was like, well, maybe they built that pretty quick, but like this big place, it's like a indoor race car type place. And I'm like, it just seemed like it popped up out of nowhere. It's like just my reality is just a little bit different. What's that?
Andretti?
I think so. I think that's the, I think
yeah, we got one of those here.
Yeah, it's like blue, and I was like, it just came out of nowhere, it seemed like. And so, like, I don't know.
Maybe you're quantum jumping there, sir.
Maybe, man. Maybe. It seems like it. It seems like within the last, I don't know, maybe 3 months, things have really shifted, like, majorly.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows? Who's to say?
Dude, and I kind of believe that actually in the idea of quantum jumping, because there's been times where, whenever I was younger and I first got my driver's license, I just wanted to race everywhere. Like I just wanted to go, I wanted to fucking drift around 90-degree bends and all that kind of shit, right? and I think I totaled 3 or 4 of my first cars. Like the first cars I ever had totaled. Like no fixing them. Like totally fucked. And I always came out, not even a scratch, no bruise, no nothing. And if you look back at the cars, you'd be like, there's no way anybody should have survived this. And then there's just been like weird things like that. Like there was a time
that's weird. Actually, I'm sorry, not to cut you off.
I spun out of control on I-10 360 on Christmas, and there was cars around me. I remember, and my son was in the car. I hit that white thing, my mirror, and the mirror, because it's like electric, the mirror was holding on by the wire. It hit my car on top. It looked like a bowling ball fell on my car. I spun in 360 in my Challenger. and I got back on track, and I just was driving normal again. And me and my son were like on Christmas Eve, like going to see my dad. And we literally were in so much shock, and we just kept just driving like normal. When I got there, I was like, my car, oh my God, how did this happen? How did we live? How did I not flip? It's like, it's a heavy fucking car. But I knew how to control a muscle car. I mean, I love cars, so I just let it turn. I was barely holding on. I didn't press on the brake, and we just spun, and my kid was in the back, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, thank you. And it was literally on Christmas. So
holy shit.
Yeah, weird shit like that.
In moments like that, it's like I knew there was cars coming. Have to be cars coming behind me on I-10. It's Katy Freeway. Like,
right. I mean, it takes 3 hours to get from Houston to Houston. Like that, that's just the way it is. But yeah, dude, there's been really weird things that have happened throughout my life to where like I've just gotten out scot-free every time. Knock on wood. Hopefully it keeps on happening.
Yeah.
But
I just kept thinking it was normal. Like that's the bad thing, because I never really, I guess when it happens to you and it happens to you more than once, you just think, okay, maybe it happens to everybody in different ways, but not the ways that you would expect.
It just makes you believe that you have somebody looking out for you, or there's something.
I don't know who.
I don't know who. I mean, I like to think that I know who, but there's no way of knowing, you know.
Yeah.
You kind of just got to take it on faith a little bit. But yeah, because there's been times where like what was it? There was this time that so me, my sister, and baby mama number one, we went to Tigerland. It's like known for, that's like college town at LSU, right? It's Tigerland. They have a bunch of bars like Reggie's and Fred's and a bunch of other ones. And so we went, and my sister was going to be the designated driver so that me and my ex would be able to drink and get super shit-faced all night. And so we go there, and, you know, I'm having a good time. My ex is having a good time. Can't find my sister anywhere. And we're looking around, and next thing I see is her up on fucking stage dancing. And I was like, you're not sober. Like, well, like I'm shit-faced. Like, how are we getting home? And this was like before Uber and stuff like that, right?
She dropped the ball.
She dropped it hard. And so I was like, all right, well, I mean, if we're all three like pretty equally drunk, I trust myself more than either one of you. And so then I started driving. I got like half a mile until I got pulled over. And because like I was like speeding through this 25 mile an hour bullshit ass roads. I'm like, bump it up to 40.
Speeding.
Yeah, like people can run as fast as that.
We got to
you know?
keep the cops employed.
I guess so. And so, but I got pulled over, and I was clearly shit-faced, like eyes glossed, super red. I'm sure I reeked of alcohol. My sister and my ex are in the back seat. They're like passed out. And the cop just goes up to me. He goes, you coming from the bar? And I was like, yes, sir. And he goes, you doing a little bit of drinking tonight? And just out of nowhere, I'm just like, no, sir, I'm the DD. I didn't even have a game plan to even say that, you know, like I thought I'm going to fucking jail tonight. Like in my mind, it was a done deal. And he goes, all right, good man. Have a safe trip home and keep it under the speed limit. I was like, how did that happen?
He believed in you. He believed in you.
I'm like,
oh my God.
Am I a fucking, like, am I a good actor or somebody looking out for me or what? And it's just shit like that has happened all throughout my life to where you just feel like somebody's looking out for you, you know?
Dude, good shit, dude. You just really put the game face on. You're like, yep, I'm the DD. Don't even ask questions.
He's like, I'm the reason why they're gonna get home safe.
Look at they're shit faced back there.
Right, legit, you know? Like all the way up until he got up to the window, I was shitting myself, not knowing what to say. You know what I mean? And so it was like almost like it came to me.
You were already thinking about like being in jail and how much that's gonna suck, and your heart's pounding. And
I was like, I'm too cute. I can't go. We can't make this happen. You know,
you'd be in trouble.
Yeah. And so yeah, it is definitely strange. But I do want to talk a little bit more about this quantum jumping though, because I do find it to be a fascinating topic. And you know, people will go back and forth. They're like, all right, well, what happens when, it was not quantum jumping, the one where you jump into another body and then whenever you die, you just jump into another version of your body. But what happens whenever you age out kind of thing?
Right.
I think
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I think that it's like, I don't
many worlds.
Yeah, the many worlds interpretation. That's what it was.
Yep.
And so people, will mention that. And I used
So
to
is
think
that what I did in my dream when I went to this random back room type of world?
very well possible.
For all we know, that's what you did in the river.
But
Who knows? Maybe that fish slapping you in the face was like, oh, you're in a
Wake
different
up.
world now.
well, and that's the thing though too. I don't think that there is such a thing of aging out anymore. Like I think that with infinite time, time isn't a thing really. It's just how we perceive, the events, prior and future and current, but it's not really real. So
I feel like when we lose ourselves, like in dementia and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, I feel like those souls leave, and that's why they're hollow, they're different, they don't know, because the real you is already gone and reincarnating somewhere else.
I'm not gonna lie, that scares me more than anything else is losing my mind. Like that's
why you won't be able to. That's the part of it.
That's why I take methylene blue, and I know some people hate on that, but that's like it sharpens the mind, it connects the electrons or whatever back together. Oh yeah, hey, something, yeah, for sure. Well, look, I'm sure we could probably talk really all night. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention before we wrap it up?
No, not really. Just if you're gonna dream tonight, dream big.
Dream big, baby.
I love it.
Yeah, going with a game plan. So, all right. Well, Sean, I think it's about time, sir, for the tarot.
Dude, it is, and we got the Nine of Cups.
Oh, how about that? That's a good card.
I like it.
The Nine of Cups. You would think we would know all these by now, but honestly, I think even once we do, I still want to read it.
Yeah, I'm the same. If my friends do it, I'm like, let me just pull it up.
So the Nine of Cups. Sit back and revel. Yeah. Sit back and revel in the abundance you've cultivated as gratitude increases the flow of success. The Nine of Cups card brims with the energy of abundance, wealth, and security. Here we see a proud-looking man seated with 9 cups displayed like trophies behind him. He's worked hard for these cups, and he is pleased with his accomplishments as indicated by the blue cloth beneath them. The 9 of Cups carries the energy of each card that came before, experiencing each lesson along the road. Known as the Wish card, in the tarot, this card signals fulfillment of your dreams or efforts coming to fruition.
Holy shit. I love it. That guy does look pretty proud of himself.
I got goosebumps.
The perfect card, dude.
This just encompassed every time. Yeah, it just so all right, let's read the spiritual version of it. It says, your health is improving and you're welcoming overall feelings of happiness and joy. Make a wish and continue to follow your intuitive guidance on your path. This card signals abundance in all areas of life.
That's awesome, dude. And last night being what was it, the witch's night?
The night of the witches, purchase not.
Yeah.
Well, and also today is Beltane.
It's Crescent Moon night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. So write it down.
Oh, dude.
Hopefully I'll see
and dream big.
Little orb out there tonight again. I have cameras set up, and I have to send you guys videos for sure.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
I have so many videos, and you guys would be amazed.
There was one night, out of all my time living in Texas so far, there's only been one night where I saw what I believe to be an orb. It wasn't an airplane. It was moving all over the place. It was getting brighter and dimmer and, the thing that orbs do. And it just so happened to be a night that I was taking out the trash. And I'm, every time I go outside, especially at night, I'm like, I'm always looking up because I'm like, I'm not going to miss whatever is going on right now. And I'm always, just trying to peep the sky a little bit. And there was that one night I saw the orb and I was like, oh my God. And I almost went inside to go.
Did you talk to it?
Well, no, I was kind of like starstruck almost. And so I went inside and I was getting ready to go inside to go tell my ex. But the moment that I went to step in the house, it went away. So I think that it was kind of, just for me kind of situation.
It was kind of moving around in like different directions or?
Oh yeah. Like it was like a swirling and then it was going back and forth. Really? And like, yeah, it was.
I have videos of them spinning in different colors, like in different ways it'll spin. And then I had one time after poker, it was really late and I could see one following me on the freeway, but far. And I was in my mind, like, talking to them, like, if this is what I think it is, like, prove it. And tell me why the most random song played on my playlist while I, like, nothing to do. It was a Disney song. He Lives in You from The Lion King. He Lives in You.
Oh, shit.
Oh, right.
If from the water, from the land, and from the sea. And that's when everything was emerging from the ocean at that time.
Oh, shit.
And then it would say, Mama Mela, and it sounds like Marbella. And I was like tripping on my way home. I'm like, what is going on here? And then it was just, it followed me all the way. I mean, I don't know how I saw it from the Heights all the way here to Katy. It just came. And there's other, at work, I was in Westland, and I have a video. I was recording the sky, and you just see a saucer. And there's no way it can move that fast, because I had to slow down the video, and you just see it just flying in through the clouds.
Well, you know what? I'm going to speak it out into existence. All three of us are going to go outside tonight and see some magic. It's just going to happen.
I think it's just a matter of speaking it. Go out there and say, show me something, and you will see something. There was one time I took my wife outside, and I was like, all right, but all we got to do is just kind of ask for it. And all of a sudden we saw this bright light, and it was real quick. It wasn't a shooting star. And then it went away and it disappeared. And I was like, did you see that? And she's like, yeah, I saw it. She said, what was that? And I said, I don't know. But what do you think? I mean, definitely wasn't an airplane.
Yeah.
Right. So I think you just got to go out there and just kind of say something and just look. Yeah. And then something might happen.
That might be the game plan tonight then.
I'm scared to watch Lion King.
Yeah. The new Scar movie was really good, though.
I haven't seen it yet.
So anyway, all right, look, we're going to wrap it up right here. We're going to get to the meditation, and then of course the conversation after the meditation. For anybody that wants to be able to join in, and you'll be able to join whenever we go live every Wednesday night for Wonder Wiz Day. There is the Wonder Wiz Day tier on Patreon. So you go to patreon.com/metamysteries. That link is down in the show notes below. It's the best way to be able to support us. It's completely commercial free, and you'll be able to join us. But if you don't want to join us, or you don't want to go live, you just want to be able to see the videos and listen completely commercial free, there are other tiers that will allow you to do that and also support the show in that way. And you also get the shows a couple of days in advance. So if you do want to see the video, this is what I've been trying to say. If you do want to see the video, but you don't have the funds to be able to go over to Patreon, we do have a YouTube channel, Meta Mysteries YouTube. And they come out the same day that it comes out on the podcast networks. So if you're listening to this on the Cult of Conspiracy podcast, which comes out Mondays and Fridays for Meta Mysteries, you'll be able to go over to YouTube and watch it over there if you prefer to see the video. But again, they both have commercials. So if commercials, are a little naggy, then Patreon is the place to go. So we appreciate all of the one out there that is already supporting us in that way already. And the Wonder Wiz Days are popping lately, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. We've been having some great guests. They've been very fun, man. And I just never thought that I'd have an experience like I had. Like, I wasn't expecting that experience on that one live where we had Shannon come on and she said all those things. And that was one of those pivotal moments in my journey where I was like, okay, we're cooking with some heat over here. You know what I mean? We're definitely part of something, and so, but I have an idea. I think we might be doing a little quantum jumping in this meditation. I don't know. It's up to you guys, but
let's fucking go, baby.
And that's where we're going.
So yeah, anybody that wants to be able to meditate with us, it would only be over at Patreon. We're not putting the meditations on the podcast or YouTube anymore, just for, strikes or whatever like that. But we don't have any problem over at Patreon. So if you want to be able to meditate, then come check us out over there. But if not, then this is where we leave you. And what we like to say is if Bella came here and she taught you anything, it's that you don't know what you don't know. So don't just get weird.
Stay weird.
Namaste, Sean.
Namaste, my dude. I feel wonderful. It's like I took a little nap.
That was really good.
I muted myself.
Right? Yeah, I feel like refreshed. Like I actually got a little energized after that.
I got teary-eyed off of that, dude.
Did you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Check this out. We lost time. We started at 10:54. It's 11:15. This always happens to me.
What?
We lose time. It was only supposed to be 16 minutes.
Wait a second.
We always lose time. This is exactly what happens every time I do this.
Wait, what time did we start, you said?
10:54.
So it'd be 7:54 your time, right?
What?
So yeah.
11, it's 11:16.
So essentially what you're saying is 20 something minutes has passed, but the meditation was only 10 minutes?
Correct. And we lost time.
Oh.
Do you see what I mean? And this is why sometimes I feel like these things really work, but you have to pay attention.
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to what time it was.
This.
So you
I'm
just
blown
quantum
away.
leap some time from somewhere, and we don't know where or when. But something.
Oh, shit.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I felt like I was really experiencing the wholeness of that.
That's one of the ones that I've done. And the other one is the one on the train. That one was the most accurate one. And then the hypnosis.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous because I know that there's some shit that's going on in this world that we don't fully understand,
Right.
you know? And so like I'm like thinking to myself, I mean, I'm pretty pleased with how things are going. So like I don't want too much to change, you know. I guess if anything was to change, it would be, I don't know.
Well, that's why you
things about
meditate.
myself.
Yes.
Not on the
For
outside.
better things. Yeah. Because whatever happens out there, like I feel like if you can manifest the better things happening to you instead of being scared of the bad, good will always follow. Like I live by that because let me tell you, God, like, thank you so much. But like, I've never been through something that I couldn't handle, or like a situation where it was like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I feel like if you just look at the best, no matter what happens on in the world around you, you'll make it one way or another.
Right. It always seems to work out one way or another.
Yeah, one way or another.
Yep.
It do.
Absolutely.
It do. Well, I was trying to imagine, and this is kind of like a branch off of the other night, you know, just trying to imagine whatever you're wishing for. That's what we did for the live show, right? It was kind of like it was the well, purchase not wish. Yep. And yeah, I was kind of like seeing a bit of the same, except for it was like more wholesome. Like it was like I imagine myself not only having certain things, but also
embracing,
hoping that I could appreciate them whenever they happen.
Right.
So
Like
the thing about that is,
picture.
when I first started doing it, there's steps to it. Okay. I have a journal and I wrote down everything that I wanted to see, everything that she tells you to imagine. You write them down. Because you need to affirm it. You need to write it so you could see it, you could read it, you memorize it, and then you meditate in it and you think of it, and it comes into fruition better. But the first time, you just need to visualize it, because it's very hard to visualize things in your head. Like it's very hard to keep something in your head and you can't think of something else to, get in the way. But first, you want to visualize it. The second time, you want to remember details of those visualizations. And then the third time, you want to actually feel the gratitude and embrace those things that you want that are good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like those are the steps that you take until it starts to actually work, because it's affirming it in spiritual ways.
Right.
You know, what you see, what you hear, what you think, what you like.
Yeah, what you gotta feel it a little bit. And that was really one of the first times where I like really felt it. And I felt like I was even, so I'm seeing whatever I'm seeing like in the mind's eye, but also there was a point in which, so just to break it down here. So basically my dream is to like I want to live in an RV and I just want to be able to travel. Right. And so I was imagining that I was like somewhere where I could see all the stars at night. And I imagined that I was like sitting on the roof of the RV, just meditating underneath the stars with somebody. And somebody who I could appreciate and who I knew that I was like on the same wavelength, that we were both trying to be out there, one with nature, one with the universe, one with each other. And yeah, it was really cool, because it was like that's what I was saying. Like I felt like the wholeness of it, and it just felt like super, super connected. And yeah, I'm excited
to
for that because I could see that happening. Yeah, I could definitely. Well, I mean, I envisioned that it happened, so we'll see if it does.
What did you see?
Basically, it's weird because when it said like, "Oh, what kind of house do you live in?" and like my mind instantly like brought up a house, and then I was like, "No," and then like I was like trying to change it, so I changed it into something else, and it was like, "What kind of car?" And then I was really trying to visualize what kind of car I wanted because I know like you said the details that you can put into it is the best because you're getting that perfect image to place in your mind,
Make
to
it
really
real.
feel it and make it real because that's how all of this happens. People say, "Oh, your imagination," but everything starts there.
Yeah.
You have an idea, then you use your imagination and you mold it and you try to make it look like how you want it to look or work the way you want it to work, and that's where it all starts. And so that's where we just were.
And I know that it works too, because if you remember, whenever, so before I ever even moved out to Texas, it was like I had wanted to move out to Texas, but I didn't know how I was going to do it, just with my situation. But it got to a point where I was like, imagining, I don't even remember what kind of meditation it was, but I was imagining being in a brand new apartment, brand new to me, being in a new apartment, and I remembered the exact layout. Like I remember this meditation for the exact layout, and it just so happens the apartment that I end up settling on, not for that reason, it was the exact same layout as this. Like super, super strange. I'm talking about like where the windows are, how the blinds are, where the fireplace is set up, where the couch would be, where the TV would be. I remember it like it was yesterday, this meditation. And it came out like whenever I signed the lease for this apartment, I was like, holy shit, I've seen this place before.
Right.
That's
So this
crazy.
is real quick. Like this is what I wonder when these things happen. Is it you used your imagination to make that happen, or did you use your mind to connect with things that have already happened? And everything's all happening
think-
at once, and you're just kind of connecting with
Chicken or
that
the egg.
moment in time.
Yes,
Right.
as long as it's realistic, I feel like it's all connectable in a way.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I have no aspiration
either way-
of becoming
either way, it's cool.
president.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I've been able to get stronger at mine, but there's still things when I meditate and I see the same thing, and I still try to change the color of the house, the bardominium that I want color, and it's always the same ones that cross my. I haven't been able to just envision one of them, and
Right.
the person supposed to be the love of my life, I can never see his face. It's always the back of him, and I can always see my son and my dog, and then I see a little girl. I don't have any other kids.
Oh, wow.
So
Right.
I don't know, but I see the same thing. I see my dream car, which I'm almost there. I'm supposed to get it in August, brand new Porsche. So
Oh shit! Are you going to start?
yeah, and
are you-
I've been envisioning this in my meditation since 2022.
Well,
What color is it?
if you really
Pearl
want,
white, because I have always had black cars. So.
Nice.
if you really want to step into the manifestation of getting a Porsche, you almost got to sound like a Porsche owner and say it's a
The thing
Porsche.
was the poker. Remember, I got Porsche. I'm sorry, but working more is the way of getting it. It doesn't appear. There's going to be things that are going to be set out. There are going to be reasons to get those things, but you have to you have to understand that those are those ways of getting those things that you want. It's not just going to appear by meditation. There's going to be opportunities presented that you need to take, and decisions and choices and goals that you're going to have to,
Yep.
submit to in a way that it's going to help you get that dream or that goal done. And and like I said, I got a call one day and they were like, we need you to work these. I work very high stake games in Houston. So it was very random. And then I have a store in Mexico. My dad retired and runs it for me. Like I never imagined myself doing any of that. But I meditated and I saw it, like your dream job, your career. Oh, what if I want more than one? Like I kept thinking of different ways and different things to do. And I don't know. I feel like it helps you become less fearless because you're already seeing it happen in these meditations, that you can believe in it a little bit more, and the fear will back down more than you having the faith in yourself.
Right.
Yeah. Well, some people are going to call it magic. Some people call it witchcraft. Some people would call it conversating with demons, which
Demons.
whatever. But but I think what we're doing, we're just connecting to what we are. We're connecting to what we're capable of. We're connecting to what, was lost throughout time and revisiting that. And because it doesn't feel alien, it feels familiar whenever we're doing this kind of stuff. And not only does it feel familiar, it feels natural, it feels right. You don't sense any kind of wrongdoing whenever you're doing this kind of stuff. You're deep into a meditation, like
nothing.
that's the way to be. So
That's it.
yeah, I love this kind of stuff. Bella, this was awesome.
I'm glad we're doing it.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you for sharing your story.
Much. I'm so happy I wanted to do a quantum meditation because they're my absolute favorite, and like I will send a lot to you that like have worked for me. And we definitely need to get back together and talk about all those video footage and photos that I have that I want to show you guys.
Well,
Definitely. Jonathan does the Instagram. You can send that over, and he'll definitely be able to check those out.
Especially my trip to Moab, Utah. I have some crazy stuff to show y'all.
Heck yeah.
Well, don't be giving it away right now. Don't give away the milk. We want the whole cow. All right. So, but yeah, this was awesome. We'll definitely do it again. And for the one out there, we love you, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Bye, guys.
In a realm where shadows dance with light, through the whispering woods at night, secrets echo through the air, meta mysteries everywhere. Voices drift on winds untamed, words like spells that can't be named. Close your eyes and feel the sound. Journey where no bounds are found. Open doors inside your mind. Leave the ordinary far behind. Colors swirl and stars align. In the meta mysteries you'll find. Power rise from the depths of crystal skies, where the unseen comes to play. Lost in dreams, you lose the day. Chanting truth from ages old. In the unknown, we are bold. Let the podcast guide your sight through the veil of silent night. Waves of cosmic whispers flow through the realms you'll never